I'm a teacher, art teacher at Betsy Lane High School. And the name of this grant, of course, is Printmaking 101. And printmaking is it's not new. Let me say that. But let me give you a little story here. So a few weeks back, I take my grandson, who's 16 months right now, to McDonald's, and we get some French fries, and we're waiting on my daughter to pick her up, and so he loves French fries. Who doesn't, right? They last forever. What happens when you eat a bunch of French fries, especially a kid? So he takes and he puts his hand on my window, and it's still on the window, and I don't want to wash it off. But he created print, and I just use that to kind of segue you into that. So printmaking, we all have done it. My kids have done it. You do it. I do it, whether we even realize it or not. It's this image here. We create a plate. Your hand sometimes. God helped us create that, I guess. And then we ink the plate, grease from fries, and then we put it on something, paper, cloth, window for my grandson. So it's nothing new. But my problem was having the materials to, first off, allow my kids the opportunity to do printmaking. And that's where KVEC came in. And they're so awesome and so good to me, to the arts in general for the most part. And I want to promote STEAM instead of STEM, with STEM. So let's promote STEAM and STEM. So KVEC provided the materials. The question that I asked my kids when we first started all of this is, what is, who, what, when, where, why, what is printmaking? Why printmaking? And so we kind of explored all that at the very beginning to get them involved. Initially, real world, things that they already had, things that they had seen, things that they used that involved the process of printmaking. And just like the little grease story with the French fries, we're all exposed, whether we know it or not, to most things. And then we investigated, and that was, I try to lead them where they will look into what is printmaking and then look at the different avenues of how we can do printmaking. And then I guided them, to be totally honest, because I knew I wanted to get them to do linoleum blocks, and then I knew that I wanted them to do some screen printing, which I had never done before, and I wanted to learn too. And so we all have been learning printmaking, and as well as doing lino blocks. So that's where we get to the part that we're creating, and then of course there's a critique where we actually look at what they produced, and then we reflect too. But here's a couple of my kids that are enthused about taking a photo, and they're actually inking their lino block right now. They created it earlier, and I forgot to take pictures during all this stuff, so I had a limited amount of pictures to use this time around. But this is one of my students' lino block. This is the actual block, and then these are images that she pulled from the print, or from the block. And I accidentally, or she did, I guess, we accidentally had that one upside down. But big part, and one of the outcomes come up in a little bit, is that students can use this in art shows and exhibit their work, and then later on, hopefully, real life applications also. But a lot of times in art shows, especially a sanctioned or a judged show, there are categories sometimes that my students don't get participate in because they don't have the materials, and this allows them the opportunity to do that. So this is some of the displayed prints. This is another print. In different stages, it's like everything. As you write a paper, you might critique it a couple of times or go back and rewrite parts of it. And so students see in printmaking that they may have to take something out. It's hard to add it back in after you take it out. But and then this is our screen printing. And to be honest with you, I hate telling you this because if I don't tell you, you don't know. But we're in the process still of printmaking and doing the screen prints right now because I can give you 1,000 excuses, but we're late. Anyhow, we're doing the screen printing right now, and we were doing one group or two groups learning how to do it. And then there's several kits that, let me back up. We're doing one real large group to figure out how to do it. And then we're dividing the kits, and they're making several smaller prints that they're going to make their own T-shirts and all that stuff from this screen printing thing. And so this one, it's very exciting. And as an art teacher, I love it. And the kids love it. They're also talking about, maybe we can sell these T-shirts. Maybe we can buy more T-shirts and make all this stuff. And so that's the art side of it that comes into play that is so awesome. And some of them, hey, I want to do this later on. Where can I get these materials? And actually, somebody mentioned Chris Epling earlier. He's doing one of these on his own, I saw. Some outcomes. Students help each other in this. And truthfully, they probably teach themselves as much as I'm involved with them, but they do it. The student designed and created images for T-shirts, but also the lino blocks. Forgot that on that one. Some are already looking forward to doing more, and everyone participated. Product for assessment. You actually have a physical thing that you can look at, but not only that, the skill involved to create that. You also, the kids, of course, we can test over the technique and all that stuff. Reflection, every one of them said, we want to do more of this. The hard and the bad part about all that is the lino blocks involve some cutting tools. They're pretty dangerous. A couple kids ended up with Band-Aids. And then, of course, displayed and exhibited, and then they get to take that home and show everybody. So I want to leave you with this quote. This is by Edgar Degas, and we all do this. As teachers, we do this, any kind of art form. I love this. So art is not what you see. I changed one word in this. Art is not what you see, but what you, let's say, help others see. Okay, and I believe that with all my heart. And as teachers, we have to do that. Any questions about this? About printmaking in general? Oh, that's a good question. And yeah, we buy the lino block plain, and so they come up with the image to put on it. They design it, then they cut it out, relief, the background's cut away, the raised area, sort of like your hand is raised, and then you ink that and print that. Good question, thank you. Anyone else? I want to say hats off to all these young high school kids. They do an amazing job up here, and I'm so impressed with them. And I want to thank KVEC. They're so good to the arts. I'm finished. Thank you, guys.